Hi everyone, Jason Bruckhoff here at Lichtsinn RV in Forest City, Iowa, one of the sales managers. I'm joined along with Abby Nieman, one of our sales consultants here, and today we're going to take you through the all-new Winnebago Revel all-wheel drive model and do some measurements for you. Measurements are always important because we're getting questions of what you can take with you, what you have to leave at home maybe, and stuff. So we're just going to start here on the outside of the Revel, work our way through the entire inside, and document some of these measurements for you. So we will start with the little cubbies that you get with the Revel. There are actually two now with this series.
12.
So you got 12 by 13, and then the depth of the is about 7 inches. And again, you get two of those with the new Revel. Then we'll measure the table.
19.
So 19 inches wide
24.
and 24 in length. New setup with this model, you do have the adjustable latch there, and then it is magnetic to stay up in its stowed position. So next we're going to transition into a drawer here in the Galley. You do have a cutting board that is provided.
16.
So 16
by 19.
by 19. That gets removed, and then that is where the induction range top is stored. And this drawer
It's 15
measures 15
by 20.
by 20 and a depth
About 5 inches deep.
of 5 inches. And then we are going to measure the overhead.
About 31.
So 31 inches in width,
By 11 and a quarter.
11 and a quarter height,
And then the deepest point is about 12 and a half inches.
and 12 and a half inches in depth. And again, that is a tapered backdrop to that, but that is the deepest part. Then we'll measure the table
It's 29 and a half
at 29 and a half
by 15 and 3/4.
by 15 and 3/4. And then we'll measure the seats here. They're both the same as far as the dimensions, but they are adjustable as well, and we'll illustrate that. But first we'll just measure the seat as far as the seat cushion itself.
17 inches
That's 17 inches.
by
The depth
17.
is also 17, and then the backrest area as far as from the seat on up,
Is roughly 29.
about 29 inches. And then there's a grab handle. We'll just kind of illustrate how it does slide apart, and then just has an adjustable handle to it as well, which goes back and forth adjust a little bit. So that is a new feature for this model. And the next thing that we'll measure is the little storage pod that's below the seats.
Opening is 13
So the rough opening is 13 inches
by 9.
by 9,
And the depth of that is about 5 and a quarter.
and the depth is 5 and a quarter. And the last spot that we'll measure here is the storage over the cab. And the overall length of that,
About
56 inches in length. The height
9.
is 9 inches.
The deepest part is 20.
And then 21 inches for the depth at its deepest point. And then now we're going to transition into the galley area, the bathroom, and the storage closet. Next, we're going to measure the all-in-one gear closet and wet bath.
All right. So 26 inches deep.
So you got 26 inches in depth,
And 31 wide.
31 inches wide.
And then height. Oh gosh. Use that. 71.
71 inches high. And again, the shower does taper off due to the body style of the chassis. And then you do have one shelf that is supplied by Winnebago, and that will measure 31 inches wide
by 19 and a half.
by 19 and a half inches. Next, we're going to take some measurements of the Galley and the Revel. First, we have the overhead storage bin, and the overall length is 29 inches
By 12 and a half.
by 12 and a half. Height-wise,
Oh, 11 and a half.
and 11 and a half for your depth. Then we'll go down and measure the basket for your spices or whatever you want.
That's 11
11 inches in length
by 4
by 4 inches in depth
by 3 and a half.
by 3 and a half for your height. And then the galley sink,
It's 14 inches deep
14 inches
by 9 and a half.
by 9 and a half. And then the depth of the sink
6.
is 6 inches. Then we'll measure the countertop from the edge,
19 and a
so
quarter
19 and a quarter is your depth
by 32.
by 32 up to the sink. Then you do have 3 drawers. The top one,
Is
10 inches
by 14.
by 14
And that is about 3 inches deep.
and 3 inches in depth. We'll move down to the second one,
Got 10,
10 inches in width
14
by 14 again,
by 3.
and 3 again is your depth. And the last one kind of looks like a filing cabinet, but again, you can put whatever you desire down there.
It's 10
It's 10 inches in width
by 14.
by 14,
And that one's about 9 inches deep.
and then approximately 9 inches in depth. And then there's one more door here in the galley.
So the opening is 12 and a half
So you got 12 and a half in height
by 6 and a quarter,
by 6 and a quarter for your width,
5
and then 5 inches deep. Then next we will transition back to the gear garage and the rear of the new Revel. All right, now we're in the rear of the Revel in the gear garage bed area. The bed obviously is in its down position, sleeping position. We're going to measure the bed itself. So the overall width
is 49.
is 49 inches. And the length
79.
is 79. And then we're going to take a measurement from the bed up to the Coleman Mach AC,
It's 39.
just 39 inches.
Yeah.
And then we will measure the remaining space in the gear garage when the bed is down in sleeping position.
So that is about 25.
And that is about 25 inches. Again, you got a cargo net down there. You got a little bump out where the motor's at, and then another storage pod underneath there too, so that can vary a little bit, but that is with the bed in the sleeping position. All right, we're going to continue our final measurements of the gear garage sleeping area in the Revel. The first one that we're going to do is the little platform here that Abby was sitting on.
It's 12
So
inches.
that's 12 inches in width
by 54.
By 54. And then the shorter one
6
is 6 inches wide
by 53.5.
by 53.5. Then we're going to come down here and measure the little storage compartment.
Oh, let's see. That is 9.
So you're got 9 inches in height. The length
Is 23.
is 23 in the depth.
Thank you. 14.5.
Is 14.5. And then the opening here
Is 37 inches.
is 37 inches. And then we're going to measure the length of the gear garage.
Which is 54.
So you got 54 from the rear cargo doors up to this point. And then if we take that additional space and go from that point back to where the passenger seats are at, that's 38. So 92 inches if you're looking for something from the rear up to where those seats are at, such as a kayak or bikes or things of that nature. The opening back into the gear garage from the galley area
This is 22.
will be 22 inches wide. And then
From here,
the galley to the wet bath closet doors
23 inches.
is 23 inches. And then your most narrow point
14.
is 14 inches at the base of the galley and the passenger seats. So again, this is the all-new all-wheel drive Revel here at Lichtsinn RV. Hopefully these measurements will come in handy for you. If there's anything else that we can do on this coach specifically for measurements, please let us know, or if there's anything else on any of our other in-stock inventory, we'd be happy to get that information for you as well.